favourite journalists ever.
Oh.
Thanks for coming and speaking to us today.
Thank you, Sarah.
Tell us all about your amazing, wonderful, adventurous career and how you got here and what you love about it.
How I got here, oh my goodness, I've had a love affair with English my whole life. Like, I could spell elephant in kindergarten. That was the highlight of my kindergarten. I was the only child that could do it. So I knew from kindergarten that I would do something with English. I didn't know what that would be. I didn't know how I would get there. I didn't know there was such a thing as journalism when I was in kindergarten, but I knew that I loved to write.
Yeah.
And so I was one of those people who was quite fortunate that knew all along, straight through kind of high school, that eventually I wanted to be a writer and wanted to work in newspapers. I didn't struggle. I didn't kind of try and figure out kind of what I wanted to be. I always knew.
Because I remember in a primary school and being quite bright at English as well, but having to go to career advisors and speak to my parents, and it took me I went around a long way to try to get to my career and what I was good at. But how did you know that from such an early age?
Because I basically sucked at everything else.
Yeah.
It was a case of, right, this is what you're good at, stay focused, stay on target. And I didn't deviate, even kind of, when I thought, oh, maybe I should look at other options. I never strayed too far. I kind of went, no, I actually know what I want to be doing.
And has anyone shaped your career or been a great influence in terms of directing you to where you are now?
I'd say yes, in both a positive and a negative way.
Oh,
yeah. Look, I've had really good editors. I've had really bad, shitty editors. One that particularly shaped my career early on. She was my editor for just over a year, and she taught me everything about who I didn't want to be as a journalist.
Wow.
Where I didn't want to go.
Was that a great experience, your first internship?
You know what, it was horrible.
Yeah.
And I almost quit several times.
And what made you
I never want to be like you. I never want to be as bitter as you, and I never want to treat anyone the way that you've treated me. That's what that taught me.
And over time, with all of your success, I suppose that's a reward in itself when you can turn around and show her and go, this is I'm now shining.
Well, I was young. I was scared and quite inexperienced. And fortunately, there were other senior journalists around me that could kind of hold my hand through the experience and then kind of take it up with our publisher. She eventually left, and we had a ding dong, the witch is gone party.
Oh my!
It was just incredible. And now that I think about it, it was just at that time it was
just
my greatest achievement to get this woman out of my life, because she was just beyond horrible to me.
Oh, and look at you now, though. You're having the best time in journalism. One of the most amazing jobs and careers that I've been privileged enough to be working with you for quite some time now, and formed a great connection and a great friendship. In terms of PRs, what do you look for in terms of a story, in terms of a pitch, in terms of relationship? Because there's thousands of PRs out there, but
what do we want? Look, I think the media landscape has changed, as you know, quite a bit. So there's been mass redundancies in the industry. We are time poor, we are resource poor. It's a case of, working to the best of your ability, but at the same time you want to put out a quality product. When a PR comes to me and says, can you send me your features list? I just think, no. Not only no, but F no.
Yeah.
Like, that is the dumbest thing that you could do, I think, as a PR, and I think it's really, really lazy.
Yeah.
The other thing is when PRs don't know the product, so they'll pitch you something and go, well, where would that fit in the publication that I'm working on? And they don't know.
And do you help them, do you educate them when they pitch incorrectly, or is it a case of, we're just going to skip over that email and probably come back to you again?
No, not at all. Look, I think everybody has something to offer. It's just about getting the best out of, they need to get the best out of me, I need to get the best out of them. It really is an arrangement where we need to kind of nurture those relationships. And it's a case of, look, read the publication, have a look through it, look at the sections that we have. Do you think that the product or the vibe or the pitch that you're selling me can fit into this particular product? If not, then you need to rethink that.
And in terms of, you were talking about media landscape and it changing.
Oh, yes.
Where do you think we're going to? What does the future look like for media and PRs?
Look, I think we're already working long hours, but it's, you know, the news cycle is 24 hours. So it doesn't matter whether you're in fashion, you're in beauty or hardcore news. The truth is that everybody's looking for information all the time. We're on our phones all the time, on our laptops.
Yes.
Wherever we are, we're listening to the news, we're reading the news. So we'll be working longer hours nowadays. And because it's all digital, a lot of it is now moving towards digital.
Yeah.
So
does that scare you?
It does a little bit, I think, in terms of how quickly you need to produce news stories. I think we're lacking the quality in terms of kind of what we're putting up, because you just don't actually have the time for it. And stories need to be updated all the time. People are thirsty, they're hungry for news stories. Again, in whatever domain you're working across. It's a case of actually filtering out good stories and kind of pushing them along and kind of, you know, sending them out to the world, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, kind of,
And the different
whatever.
channels.
The different channels, yeah.
In terms of, and that brings me to social media and how that's changed your craft and your role, do you think, looking back and being that girl in primary school and loving writing and loving content, you would not enter into the world of journalism?
No, I totally would. Okay. But it's a different dynamic now. And so when I was a little girl, it was about writing stories.
Yes.
And when I first started working as a journalist, it was just about writing stories. You weren't sub-editing your own work, you weren't kind of putting on headlines, you weren't sending stories out to social media. So the job has changed dramatically. Well, I wouldn't say it's changed. The initial job, the idea of writing stories, is still there, but there is a lot more components to fulfill now.
Yeah.
That's changed.
And what advice could you give PRs or brands who are wanting to pitch their story to you to grab your attention, to nurture that relationship, to have a strong, fulfilled partnership?
Do you know, I think the best advice that I could give is, if you have a particular brand or particular pitch, don't just say, hey, we've got this new refrigerator that I think will be wonderful in your publication. Say, this is the ambassador, this is how it could work, this is a story idea that we had in mind, and this is the talent you could possibly speak to. And I think that's the best way to get things across.
Yes.
To just kind of say, here is some wonderful kind of photos of a product. It's just not enough anymore. It has to be a complete pitch. And you need access to high-res images. And the turnaround has to be quick.
Yeah. And you have to be reliable in terms of
You have to be reliable. Because if I'm going to news conferences and we have this particular story up, and then the PR doesn't get images back to me in time, or they're not high-res, or I can't get a hold of talent to interview, then that falls over. And then it leaves a really bad vibe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bad taste in your mouth.
Is it stressful being a journalist?
Is it stressful? It can be stressful.
You're relying on so many different people
different people to come together. And there are deadlines. So it's not, especially when you work for a newspaper, the deadlines are quite tight. So, you know, some PRs are used to working with magazines or what have you. It's like, oh, so this deadline could be a week off or 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
And they'll kind of, you know, cruise around kind of, I'll get back to you at some point. No, we need a very definite time frame of when it can be back by.
And then by that time, you've moved on to the next one. And
it's gone. The opportunity is lost. Yeah.
So you're doing something really exciting now with
Yes.
your career. You've explored different options of where you want to be in the next few years, or as a hobby.
Yes.
Talk me.
My side hustle. Look, I have 3 children, and I always kind of go onto websites and different kind of podcasts, listen to different podcasts, around kind of raising children and issues that come up. And so I now edit Mumpire.
Amazing.
Yeah, love mumpire.com. I love the name too.com.au, and it's literally looking at kind of parenting issues, but it's a bit tongue in cheek. It's not serious. We're not, saving the world.
You're one of the funniest women that I've met. So
Oh,
just
no,
imagine that this is going to be just so much fun.
Look, it's about having fun, and it's about saying, kind of, on some level, as parents, at different times, we have all failed. So, there's a lot of positivity out there. There's a lot of women kind of empowering each other and just saying, yeah, look, we've all sucked at some time. We've all been kind of down in our luck. We've all been sleep deprived. We've all done shitty things because we're scared as parents, and we've always compared ourselves to other parents who kind of look like they're doing an amazing job. I mean, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
Yeah.
When people are having kind of, 10-minute breakdowns in the bathroom because they just need some alone time. It's just about kind of having a little bit of fun.
Love it.
Yeah.
And what does that look like to you in the next 4 or 5 years? Where do you want to take that?
I like it to be kind of a standalone product. At the moment, like it's my side hustle. It's what I do when I'm not working kind of at the Telegraph. It's what I do on the side on the 2 days when I have a little bit of time to myself. But ultimately, I want it to be something that's
yours.
That's mine, and it's thriving. And I just, it's about other women or parents, not women. Parents just kind of logging on, having a laugh. Leaving a comment, going, yeah, I get it, I've been there.
Love it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.